Elara Quinn, gazed out the window of the starship as it traveled toward Ipsilon Prime, a distant planet renowned for its advanced technology and cosmic wisdom. The view from the window showcased an expanse of stars and distant nebulas. Elara was one of the lucky few selected for the advanced training program at Ipsilon Prime. Her eyes sparkled with excitement and curiosity. The young man sitting next to her caught Elara's attention. With his short-cropped hair and sharp features, he exuded charisma. "First time going to Ipsilon Prime?" he asked. Elara smiled. "Yes, I'm from Earth, and this place seems really different." "My name's Kian," the young man said, extending his hand. "I'm from the Altair system. What's your name?" "Elara Quinn," she replied, shaking his hand. "I'm from Earth." Kian looked at her with interest. "I've heard a lot about humans. Your species is known for its diversity. I think you'll find this place exciting." Elara nodded, smiling. "Yes, I'm eager to learn about different parts of the galaxy and the various species living here." Throughout the journey, Elara and Kian chatted about galactic history, technological innovations, and personal stories. As they neared the end of the trip, the magnificent view of Ipsilon Prime came into sight through the starship's window. The planet was a stunning blend of vast cities and lush green landscapes. The ship landed smoothly on the planet's surface, and as the students disembarked, Elara felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. The campus was bustling with students of various shapes and sizes. Some walked, others slithered or floated. Walking towards the registration hall, Elara asked, "Is it always this crowded?" Kian nodded. "Only at the beginning and end of terms. Everyone's either arriving or leaving. You'll get used to it. Let's get you registered." The registration hall was even more chaotic. Lines snaked in every direction, and students conversed in a multitude of languages. At the desk, a creature with no visible eyes and a radiant purple hue tapped at a holographic display. "Name?" it asked mechanically. "Elara Quinn," she replied. "Ah, the human. There's quite a bit of anticipation about your arrival," the creature said. "Here's your schedule and a map of the academy. Your first class is Galactic History 101 in Building ZA3. Don't worry, it's hard to get lost here. The map will guide you." "Thank you," Elara replied, taking the materials. As she left the hall, she glanced at her schedule, feeling a bit overwhelmed. Kian noticed her anxiety and chuckled. "You'll be fine," he reassured her. "What's your first class?" "Galactic History 101, Elara said. "Perfect. That's my next class too. I'll take you there," Kian offered, leading the way. As they walked, Kian pointed out various landmarks and facilities, filling Elara's mind with information. When they reached the building, Elara took a deep breath and clutched her bag tighter. "Ready to become a galactic citizen?" Kian joked, noticing her tense expression. "As ready as I'll ever be," Elara replied with a smile. As she stepped into the classroom, Elara felt every eye on her, and a quiet murmur filled the room. She was indeed an anomaly here, but Kian leaned over and whispered, "You have the chance to change what they think about humans. Show them who we really are." Elara, steadied by Kian's encouraging words, took her seat. This was shaping up to be the most transformative period of her life. As Elara settled in, the classroom buzzed with low murmurs. Some students communicated through clicks and whistles, others through low growls and sophisticated gestures. She unpacked her notebook and pen, an old-fashioned method of note-taking, but one that felt grounding amidst the flurry of alien technology. "Is that how humans record information?" asked a voice from the seat behind her. Elara turned to see a small, snake-like creature with shimmering scales. Its eyes sparkled with curiosity. "Yes, It's a bit old-fashioned, I guess, but writing things down helps me remember, Elara replied, offering a smile. The creature nodded, its eyelids flickering. I'm Zylara from the planet Yara. We use memory crystals. Very efficient. Maybe I can show you something, it suggested, holding up a small glowing crystal. I'd like that, Elara said, intrigued by the technology. Just then, a tall, thin being with translucent skin and a robe that floated around its form entered the room. Welcome to Galactic History 101, the professor said, his voice echoing slightly. Today, we begin to understand the vast cultures that make up our galaxy. But first, let's get to know each other. Please introduce yourselves and share one interesting fact about your culture. One by one, students stood to speak. Some spoke of worlds where night never fell, others of societies built underwater or in the skies. When it was Elara's turn, she stood, feeling a knot in her stomach. I'm Elara Quinn from Earth, she began. Humans are known for our diverse cultures. We have hundreds of languages, and each culture celebrates its unique traditions. Diversity indeed, the professor noted. A trait that is both powerful and challenging, I presume. As the lecture began, covering the basic structures of galactic governance, Elara found herself fascinated but overwhelmed by the complexity of alien societies compared to human governance. After class, as students filed out, Kian and Zylara flanked Elara. That went well, Kian commented. It's not easy being the center of attention. It's a bit intimidating, Elara admitted, but it's also amazing to learn so much about the universe. It's not something you can fully understand just from books or hollows. True, Zylara chimed in. And speaking of learning, how about I show you the Star Gardens? It's a peaceful place, perfect for studying or unwinding. The trio made their way to the Star Gardens, a serene spot on campus where students could relax and study among bioluminescent plants and softly flowing waters. As they walked, Elara's earlier anxiety melted away, replaced by a burgeoning sense of adventure. As they sat on a glowing bench, Zylara asked, "What are you most looking forward to discovering on this planet?" Elara thought for a moment, then replied, "I want to learn about different cultures and their daily lives. I'm excited to see how we can collaborate by sharing our technologies and knowledge." "That's a great goal," Kian said approvingly. "And you've already made a good start." As the sun set over Zylara, Elara felt a renewed confidence. She might be far from home, but in this moment, she knew she was exactly where she needed to be. One weekend, Elara and her friends visited an ancient galactic archaeology site at Professor Dren's suggestion. This site, located deep within Ipsilon Prime, was rarely visited and filled with underground tunnels and mysterious ruins. Professor Dren tasked the students with excavating and reporting their findings. Elara, Kian, and Zylara worked together to explore the tunnels. During the excavation, Elara noticed a strange light behind a wall. Upon closer inspection, they discovered a hidden passage. Opening the passage, they found themselves in an ancient room filled with old writings and symbols. In the center of the room, Elara discovered a glowing crystal sphere. When she touched it, holographic images began to appear, revealing information from ancient times. The sphere contained ancient secrets and forgotten knowledge of the galaxy. Elara and her friends realized that accessing this information was both a great opportunity and a significant responsibility. They carefully recorded the information and reported it to Professor Dren. Professor Dren immediately recognized the importance of their discovery. This sphere could be an invaluable treasure trove of galactic history and cultures. However, Accessing this information required great caution and responsibility, as it could be dangerous in the wrong hands. Elara, Quinn, and Elara discussed how to handle and share this newfound knowledge. The power of this information could transform relationships between galactic societies, potentially forging new alliances or disrupting existing balances. Eventually, Elara and her friends devised a plan to safeguard the information and share it at the appropriate time. They began to gather allies from across the galaxy, building trust and cooperation among themselves, which made them stronger. One evening, while Elara was alone in her dorm room, she found a note slipped under her door. It read simply, "Be careful. Not everyone believes in your good intentions." This warning reminded Elara of the enormous responsibility on her shoulders. The next day, Elara, Quinn, and Elara met with Professor Dren to discuss the situation. The professor emphasized the seriousness of the warning and the need for caution. He explained that in the wrong hands, this information could pose significant dangers. Elara and her friends developed strategies to protect the information and share it responsibly. They worked together to use the power of knowledge wisely and to strengthen peace and cooperation among galactic societies. Despite facing many challenges, they never gave up. One morning, Elara and her friends received an urgent call from Professor Dren. He had made a significant breakthrough and asked them to come to the lab immediately. When they arrived, Professor Dren explained that he had deciphered the information from the sphere, revealing revolutionary insights into galactic history and cultures. Elara, Quinn, and Elara realized that they could use this knowledge to initiate a new era of cooperation among galactic societies. However, sharing this information required great responsibility. Professor Dren reminded them that they needed to work together to ensure the information was used wisely. Elara, Quinn, and Elara continued to gather allies from across the galaxy. By safeguarding the information and sharing it at the right time, they strengthened peace and cooperation among galactic societies. Together, they shaped the future of the galaxy, ushering in a new era illuminated by forgotten knowledge. When Elara completed the advanced training program at Ipsilon Prime, she was no longer just a student. She had become a leader, shaping the future of the galaxy. Alongside her friends, Quinn and Elara, she played a crucial role in fostering peace and cooperation among galactic societies. Under their leadership, galactic societies worked together to build a stronger, more unified galaxy. They forged new alliances and reshaped existing balances with the wisdom of ancient secrets and knowledge. Elara, Quinn, and Elara, with allies from across the galaxy, used the power of knowledge responsibly and strengthened peace and cooperation among galactic societies. They became leaders who transformed intergalactic relations, ushering in a new era. On her last day at Ipsilon Prime, as Elara watched the sun set over the campus, she reflected on the adventures she had experienced and the resolve to shape the future of the galaxy. With her new friends and allies, she knew they would continue to shape the galaxy's future. The future awaited them, and they were the leaders who would shape it.